welcome back to the Graceful Tangle YouTube channel. You can find all of the links to my various social media platforms in the description box below, so be sure to check those out if you haven't already. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you go ahead and do that. And then don't forget to hit that little notification bell right by the subscribe button so that you can know each and every time I upload a video. I'm also going to have a blog post up on my website where I also talk all about what I'm about to talk about with you guys today. So be sure to check that out. I will have a link for that in the description box as well. I am super excited to be back with you guys today talking about a brand new yarn review. I love creating these yarn reviews, and I know that so many of you have reached out to me saying how helpful they are and how much you enjoy watching them, and that just makes me so excited and grateful to continue to be able to create these videos for you. So today we're going to be talking all about a yarn that is absolutely perfect for winter and fall and chilly projects. Well, I guess chilly weather. The projects that you make with this yarn will be very warm. But anyway, this has become one of my absolute favorite yarns, and it is Picks Biggo. So this is a bulky weight yarn from Picks. It comes in a kind of a hank style yarn. It's a little bit of a different way of skein a yarn. I haven't seen too many companies do this, but it's really nice. I really like it. It simply means that you will either need a yarn swift or a friend or a chair to hold it for you while you wind this yarn into a ball. I'm going to show you more about that in just a second when I take this label off, so that I can kind of walk you through that. But it is a bulky weight yarn, 50% superwash merino wool, 50% nylon, and this is a weight 5. So it's a kind of standard bulky weight, a little bit heavier than a worsted, but smaller than like a super bulky. In my opinion, it is a really comfortable weight to work with. It's not too heavy, but it's also not too light. It's so great for hats or stuffed animals or bulky garments that you want to wear in the cold season, and I think that is fantastic. With each skein, you will get 110 yards per 100 grams, of course, give or take just a couple yards, just because, you know, everybody is as consistent as they can be, but every now and then, there will be a couple yards of difference, and there is nothing wrong with that. One of my absolute favorite things about this yarn is the spin. It is so lovely, so airy, so light. I think it is just wonderful. You can kind of see it. It is 2-ply, and then those individual plies aren't really spun. And so it's like you're not working with a single ply, but you kind of working with two single plies work together better than spun, if that makes any sense. I really, really enjoy working with this yarn. I thought I would show you a couple of things that I have personally made with it. This little bunny, I have a Throwback Thursday video all about this little guy. This, I believe, is called the Snowy Bunny or Snow Bunny. I could be incorrect about that, but I will link the pattern in the description box below. This is a bunny that I got, or a pattern that I got from a book from Picks. He is quite a few years old now. He's actually... Let's see, I got this as a gift, the yarn to make him, as a gift for Christmas in, I believe, 2016 or 17. Yeah, one of those two. I would have to look back at my project page or something to really know the answer to that question, but this is such a cute little bunny, and I used Biggo for him, and as you can see, I mean, you can tell by his arm there, he is well loved. He sits on my bed every single day. I love adding, you know, this little touch, this little handmade touch. I have said this before, and I know that it's going to sound silly, but I can't wait to make another one of these little guys for my future children, because I think little handmade stuffed animals like this, though they might take a little bit to make, a little bit of time, they are so beautiful and they get so much love. So this is one thing that I have made with this yarn. Absolutely love him. And then something slightly more practical, perhaps. This is a super cute beanie that I made pretty recently. You've probably seen it on my Instagram or YouTube, other videos, but I really love this hat. So this is the Snow Day toque, I believe is what it's called. This is a free pattern on the Lily Knits blog. I will link it in the description box below. Super, super simple, beginner-friendly beanie. if you're curious, I just added one extra repeat of cables to make it a little bit more slouchy. And I will put it on for you. So, super, super cute. This is actually going to be a Christmas gift for somebody this year. So you'll see it at least one other time. But I just love this beanie. I believe this is the colorway Magnolia Heather, I think. I'm pretty sure that's right. But it is just the most beautiful purple tonal. This is like my favorite purple color. I'm not the biggest purple fan, but this like light lavender with a gray undertone is so gorgeous. It's another reason I love Seraphim, which is a color in the Brava line from Knit Picks, and it is one of my absolute favorites. And yeah, I just love this little guy so much. And then the purple pom-pom, of course, just completes the look. So that's a couple things that I've made with Biggo. Again, such a fabulous yarn. I enjoy using it every single time. And it's just amazing. I really, really like it. It's great for winter projects. So, like I said a minute ago, I want to take a second and show you what this yarn looks like when you first take it out of the wrapper, because I think when you get a skein of yarn like this, it can be just a little bit scary, because I know that when I first got it, I wasn't sure how to skein it or how to use it, because it's different. You know, it's not in a normal skein, but it's also not in a twisted hank that indie dyed yarns come in, and it's a little bit different. So, what you're going to do is take off the label, just like this. Just slide it off. You can also tear it, but I enjoy sliding my yarn labels off if I can help it. And then you're going to see a string like this that is holding all of the yarn together. So, it's most likely going to be exactly like this. It's going to be sticking up a little bit, easy to see. Let me see if I can actually see it in another one of these skeins here. Yeah, this one is under the label as well. It's right here. Oh, that other label just fell. But anyway, so there's the string for that one. I know that Knit Picks tries to hide them under the labels, and that works really well. And that kind of gives you an idea of where it's going to be. Now, my most recommended way of separating this is simply just to grab the string and let go. Because if you're holding on to this string, you know that all of your yarn is contained because that string is containing all of it. I have had instances when I would receive a skein like this, or a twisted skein. I would unravel it, but then I didn't know that it was attached with a string like that, and I would like separate it incorrectly, and it would just be a huge, huge mess. And when you spend money on yarn like this, and especially indie dyed yarn that's a little bit more expensive, you want to be sure to wind it correctly, and so that it doesn't get tangled and it doesn't add more stress, or worse, cause your money to be wasted. That would just not be fun. So, grab the string, and then you're going to just want to separate it. And again, follow the string. So like right here, here's my string. And if I were to flip this the other way, there's my string all wrapped below. And you want to make sure it looks exactly like that. You don't want any yarn laid on top, because if there is yarn on top, that means that you haven't separated it correctly, and it's going to get tangled, and you don't want that to happen. So, now that I have my yarn separated, all I would do, if I was actually going to wind this up, I would lay this on either my yarn swift, which I highly recommend having a yarn swift at some point, but if you don't fret. You don't have to buy a yarn swift just so you can skein one skein of yarn. Simply hold it in your two hands, or better yet, get your husband or your friend or your sibling or, whoever is handy to hold the yarn like this, and then start winding the yarn up into a ball. You can use a ball winder or wind it into a ball by hand. If you don't have another human nearby, you can just put it on the like two chairs like this. So you would hook it on one post and then get another chair and hook it on the other post. I have done that multiple times and it works really well. And yeah, that's it. That is it. And there's no reason to be scared to wind a skein of yarn like this. It just is a little bit different, and you have to kind of learn how. But it's a really good technique to learn. If you've used hand-dyed yarn before, it almost always comes like this, unless the yarn dyer has a feature where you can already buy it pre-wound. So if you've winded a yarn before, you probably already know that technique. But just in case you hadn't, I wanted to take a second to show you. Again, super simple. but it's a really important trick to learn. So absolutely love this yarn. Now there's one last thing that I want to talk about, and that is the gauge and needle sizes that you could use for this yarn. So this isn't something that I personally hear a lot about. I don't hear, the needle size is always recommended on the label, but sometimes that's not very accurate per se. That's not the best way to say it. Sometimes that needle size just doesn't work for you for this yarn, and that is totally okay. I always recommend, before I suggest a needle size for you to use or even direct you to use whatever is on the label, I always suggest trying a few different needle sizes and picking the gauge, picking the needle that you enjoy using the most. Pick the one that's the most comfortable for you, because that is what you're going to enjoy using the most, of course. So Knit Picks recommends a size 10 to 11 needle, a gauge of 3 to 3.75 stitches per inch. That is exactly what I use. So for this bunny right here, I used a size, let's turn him around, I used a size 10 needle. Now this guy is well loved, so we can't really use the gauge from him because he's been stretched out so many times. I mean, there's no telling. I'm serious. I fling him on and off my bed every night. But this is my gauge. So you can see that it is pretty tight, which is good because this is a stuffing wool, and you don't want the stuffing to show through or worse, seep through the holes of the stitches. You want it to be a nice tight gauge, and that is what a size 10 needle gave me. Now for this beanie, let me see, I think it fell. Yep. So for this beanie, I used a size 11 needle. That is what was recommended in the pattern. And you can see that it is drapey and loose, perfectly slouchy, which is really important for a hat this style. So a size 10 needle, or a size 11 needle, excuse me, works perfectly for this pattern. But a size 11 needle is obviously a lot bigger than a size 10. So that might not be as comfortable for you to use. That might not be as practical, if you can't find a 16-inch size. There is wood on Knit Picks, and I will link it below. That is what I used. Fabulous, fabulous needle. But yeah, so I wanted to just take a quick minute to talk about that because, it's something that isn't mentioned too much, but something that is definitely really important. Gauge is crucial to almost every project, and it's important to know what you're likely going to be able to achieve with the yarn that you want to use. So absolutely love this yarn. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to have a couple of designs coming out soon using it, and I'm really excited to talk with you guys more about those soon. But yeah, just really love Knit Picks Biggo. I hope you have enjoyed hearing all about this yarn. If you have any other questions about it, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any other yarns that you would like to see me review, let me know that in the comments as well. I will have links to this yarn and the couple of other things that I talked about, such as the needles, in the description box below. Those will be affiliate links, so if you choose to make a purchase through those links, I will make a small commission at no additional cost to you. It's just a really simple way to kind of help me out financially just a little bit, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. So if you want to make a purchase with this yarn, or if you have a a pattern idea in mind, use those links to purchase some of this yarn for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on my other social media platforms. Also be sure to check out the blog post related to this yarn as well, because there is always some more information packed in there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again next time. Bye!